Good morning, my name is Al Wallace, and this is going to be a short video on how the management track plan works for the Business Administration Systems Management degree. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is put your name on the top left-hand block up here with your student ID, and this plan is just an Excel spreadsheet that will track what you have taken and what you should be taking to earn this degree. And the first section of the plan is the general education section, which you're going to be taking English 101, 102, oral communication class, economics class, math course, a heritage, humanities, or a foreign language course, a science course, and a computer class. Now, every time that you take a class or are scheduled to take a class, it's going to go in this column, and we're going to give us classes based on the X's in this column, which is the column that is every required class will have an X by it. So you can see that everything in this first section is required. So that's the first section, and any section, for example, of this plan that has a yellow block in it means there are options, and I'll show you how you can access those options to see what other courses you could take within, let's just say, oral communications. So let's go to the next slide. Here I've pulled down the option for math, and you can see that there are several math choices you can take, and the way you access this set of classes would be you want to put your mouse somewhere in the bottom right hand corner of this yellow block and click it a couple times. Could be maybe just really on the outside of that yellow block, but when you do that, you'll eventually get a little pull down arrow, and when you get that pull down arrow, you'll get access to all the choices for all the options for the that particular set of courses. Anyway, if I were you and you are considering maybe changing your major or maybe possibly transferring to a four-year school, if I were you, I would definitely try to take the math class that transfers, and the most common math class that transfers will be Math 150. Now, some basic academic plan rules. For example, you can't take a class, the same class, let's say, twice and let it count in two different areas of the plan. So what I'm really saying there is if you take the same course twice, it can only be used one time on the plan. Also, you can transfer courses in from other colleges if they're approved by the registrar here at OCTC. And the way to get that approval is to give those folks an official transcript from that other school, and then they will let you know what classes transfer and how they transfer in. Also, very, very important, if you change majors, as soon as you know you're going to change your major, tell your advisor, because then what really happens then is you might be assigned a different advisor based on what kind of change you make. And also make sure the change is made in PeopleSoft as soon as possible. And the way you can do that is to check with the Start Center to let them know, and they'll give you the procedures involved in how to make sure that that shows up as a change in the PeopleSoft. Those are very, very important things. Okay, now let's go back to the plan. Below the general education section of the plan, you're going to see the program courses. And again, we're looking at this third column here to make sure we complete every course that has an X by it. So the first batch of 5 classes would be Introduction to Business, and then that's the very first course you take in business. And then BAS 250, which is the very last course you would take in the business curriculum. That's the one right before you get ready to graduate. And once you've taken this BAS 160 class, that allows you then to have the prerequisite. This is a prerequisite class for these 3 other classes, which would be Introduction to Business Law, Principles of Marketing, and Principles of Management. So now it looks like these 5 classes are taken care of. So let's go on down the list here. The next set of classes would be accounting. So there's a 201 financial accounting class that's required. There's a 202 managerial accounting class that's required. And there's also a CIS 130 class that is required for the degree. pardon me, excuse me about that. So there's a CS 130 class required for the degree. Now, also we've got, further on down the list here, the next class would be BAS 212, which is Introduction to Financial Management. And you can take this class, the BAS 212, or QMS 101, which is Quality Systems, or a second math course. So you've got these three classes, only one of these three you have to take. Now, the last class on this program courses would be the BAS 284, which is Applied Management Skills. And once you've done that, once you've taken these 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 classes, then you've got the program courses complete. The next part of the degree, which is the last part, would be technical electives. And for the management track, you look into the second line here under technical electives. There are 12 hours or 4 classes you have to take, and our school allows the management track to have a couple of substitutes if you'd like. You can substitute 2 classes for these four management classes. The 2 you can substitute are 120 PHL, which is business ethics, and you could also substitute, if you wanted to, general psychology, which is POI 110. Now, if you don't make those 2 substitutions, then what you're looking at taking, I'll show you in just a second here, is 4 classes from a list of classes that are other management classes. So let's take a look at those. So these 12 hours of technical electives, which, like I said, equals really 4 classes. What we're looking at doing is you must take any 3 of these classes, these management courses right here, and also any 1 of these classes. So 3 plus 1 is going to be the 4 classes you need to meet this technical courses part of the degree. Now, once you've done that, let me go back up here. Once you've done that, the next step is to you got the degree complete, and it's time then to get my signature and date, and also your signature and date. And then once you've done that, completed the classes and got my signature, which really means I need to take a final review of all these to make sure everything's all finished. Then we've done all that. Then now I'm going to show you, before we get to the very final step, I'm going to show you a suggested, and I mean suggested, list of how you should take these classes by year and by semester. So this is just a suggestion, but it's usually pretty close. So I'm going to suggest to you that you would take the following classes. For first semester while you're here would be Introduction to Business, Introduction to Information Systems, OST 105, or it could be CIT 105, English 101, some type of history class, and some type of math class. And like I said, if you plan on transferring, you might want to make this math class be the MAT 150, college algebra. In the second semester, I'm going to suggest to you to take Principles of Marketing, Principles of Management, some type of advanced computer class like OST 240 or CIT 130. Either one of those 2 would work. English 102, Personal Finance, and some type of science class. Here I've got Human Ecology. That's the first year. And notice the little asterisk means that other courses may be substituted, right? Because it's just a suggested list. And also notice that there are prerequisites involved in some classes with little plus marks by them, and you can refer to the catalog to see what the prerequisites are. So that's year 1. Now let's look at year 2. In year 2, I'm going to suggest that you take Accounting 201, Supervisory Management, or something like that. Personal organizational leadership, again, something like that. Could be something else, but a 200 level class for sure. BAS 212, which is Introduction to Financial Management, and you could take COM 252, Introduction to Interpersonal Communications, or you could take Speech, which is BCom 181. Again, you see a little star there, which means other classes could be filled that. Then on your last semester, Accounting 202, Applied Management Skills, which is BAS 284, Econ 201, BAS 200, or another class like it. BAS 250, there's the Employability Seminar, which is like the last class you take on the last semester you're here, and of course Introduction to Business Law. And again, these are just suggested formats. This is not written in stone. Once all these classes are taken in some type of order that would be something similar to this, the next step is to go, after you get my signature and your signature, is to go to the campus center on the main campus and go into the office of the registrar and fill out the rest of the paperwork. That should do it, and I hope this has been helpful to you.